everyone, welcome to Compound Inequalities. An inequality provides a way for intervals with many solutions to be true, instead of just one unique solution like we saw with solving equations. Just note that you can also have no solution or infinite solutions as answers to these types of compound inequalities, but we'll talk more about that toward the end of this section. In many situations, it's natural for the values that you're looking at to have two restrictions. So here are some examples like that. The element mercury is a liquid as long as the temperature is between -37 degrees Fahrenheit and 674 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're going to write this as an inequality. So we'll call the stuff we're talking about M, mercury, and is liquid. And then we're going to say that as long as the mercury is liquid between -37 degrees Fahrenheit and 674 degrees Fahrenheit. So notice that M is actually, the mercury is actually between these two inequalities. Notice also that my inequalities always point to the left. That means the smaller values are always to the left because we read inequalities from left to right, and on a number line, the smaller numbers are on the left and the bigger numbers are on the right. The Medicare Part D prescription drug plan has a gap in coverage called the donut hole. In 2013, that meant a person's drug costs were covered by Medicare as long as the person spent less than $2,970 or $4,750 or more. So the two notations that you need to keep track here is that the less than means an inequality with just an arrow, or 4,750 or more, meaning greater than or equal to. We'll call this coverage. And the coverage is either less than $2,970 or coverage is greater than or equal to $4,750. We could graph it first. So the coverage is either less than 2,970 or greater than or equal to $4,750. Now remember, in interval notation, we take everything on the graph when it is an or inequality. And so the interval notation, after we've graphed it, we can convert it to just the notation itself, which is -infinity to $2,970, close parenthesis, union, open bracket, 4,750 to infinity. Now, the infinity part in a real life application for this would not make a lot of sense. Coverage is usually not a negative number. That would mean kind of in real life like we were paying the government back. So that doesn't really make sense, but in interval notation, mathematically, pure mathematical analysis would look like this. We could also write this as $0 up to $2,970, close parenthesis, union 4,000, including the 4,750, all the way up to infinite dollars. Now, is anyone going to spend infinite dollars on healthcare costs? Probably not. So this does imply that you are using the context to inform your decisions. Now, what we just looked at describes compound inequalities, meaning there's two pieces to the puzzle. These examples above show that there are two types. There are bounded and disconnected. The disconnected one was the one we just looked at right here, where we had this union symbol in between and could be using the word or to describe that meaning. Now, the notation is different. The disconnected one, the second one, had two pieces to it, and the other one just had the values that are true in the middle with a bound on either side. Now, it's going to be really important for you to focus more on the actual concept and less on getting the notation just right at first, because what I have found is that it's actually easier to just listen to the words as you read them, think about them in your head, and figure out which one has a continuous value listed and which one has a break in values. The break in values situation will always be the disconnected one. And the bounded scenario will always be the one that is all together in one group. Those are called bounded or disconnected, which hopefully makes a little bit of sense. Take a moment here to reread the descriptions above and highlight anything that you might not think makes very much sense, and then write a question down here or list something you wonder about the description in the space below before moving on to the next page. This would count as a question on your pre-watching videos. So take a minute to do that, and then I'll see you in the next video.